Jazz of all varieties has flourished in Oregon. The scene was vibrant in the 1950s. There were jazz clubs all over town, lots of work for the musicians, and a great opportunity for them to learn from each other. We can learn from three of the men who were a vital part of that heritage. Times past sometimes can appear rosier when viewed in memory or in old photographs like these. Life wasn't easy for African Americans in Portland in the early 1950s, although in these pictures, people seem to be having a good time. Well, that's because they were having a good time. The most important thing African American culture from that period taught the rest of us was that beauty, endurance, survival, and the ability to love could exist amidst oppression and isolation from the larger society. Music was a powerful teacher of all that. I want you to meet a few of the survivors of Portland's jazz scene during that time. Sweet baby James Benton could sing. Bobby Bradford and Cleve Williams could play. And they still can.
When I get lonesome, Lord, I jump on the telephone. When I get lonesome, baby, Lord, I jump on the telephone. Yes, I do. I call my woman and tell I'm on my way back home. That's why I've been flop and fly. I don't care if I die. Flop and fly. I don't care if I die, babe. Don't ever leave me, baby. Don't ever say goodbye.
Most of the clubs were in northeast Portland, on Williams Avenue, Vancouver Avenue, all up through there. Let's take a peek at what the Cotton Club looked like, where James, Cleve, Bobby, and everybody who was somebody played in the early 50s. Back then, there was music and other entertainment. Here it is today, a few blocks from the Rose Garden. Clubs came and went, but the spirit stayed on. It continues here on Sunday afternoons. James, Cleve, and Bobby have been joined by some other old friends at Billy Reed's in northeast Portland. One is drummer Mel Brown, who was a protege of these guys when he was a teenager. Mel hasn't played with them for a long time, and it was meaningful.
Oh, hey, listen, this is like, I hadn't gone to heaven. They raised me. I was a kid, and they kept saying, come on, little kid, let me show you what this is all about. And every day after school, because I went to Washington High School, I'd go by Cleve Williams' house. And Cleve and Bobby would say, hey, man, sit down and listen to the way that Sam Wood just playing with Duke Ellington's band. And also listen to the way Sonny Payne is playing with Count Basie. And this was like in the middle of the week, right? Because on the weekends, I used to play with Walter Bridges' big band. And I was kind of like, hey, this is the big thing over here. See, this little kid is playing with a very mature sound. But they didn't realize that Bobby and Cleve were schooling me all week long on how to play with the band.
Why, play, Lord, flip, flop and fly. Don't care if I die. Flip, flop and fly. Don't care if I die, baby. Don't ever say goodbye, baby.
In the mid-50s, Sweet Baby James built a theater out of a garage in his backyard. It was where all the jazz musicians came to jam. It was the place for musicians from all over the country to stop in and jam when they came to town. On a winter's day in Portland not long ago, James and Cleve walked the streets where in their youth and early adulthood, these men were central figures in Portland's jazz scene. This is the first time in many, many years they've revisited these places.
This was the place, man. All the cats. See, it used to be a gate right here. Oh, I guess these are steps here. We'd go up and go through, and that big barbecue thing was sitting right here, man. We'd have ribs. So the building was built out to this corner, to that corner, to about this basketball thing here. It came out to about here. About right here. Corner. Good, geez, look at that tree. Came out to about here. And we had nothing but serious cats, man, that was playing, man. I mean, It's unbelievable the caliber of person that used to come in here and found out about it. It's just coming in from San Francisco, L.A., New York. But when they came to Portland, they looked this joint up, see? So there was always music and something to eat.
Who said who could get up and play when?
That was a mutual respect at the time. You know, if you thought you was good enough, you can get up there. If you look up on the stage and see the caliber of guys, you had enough guts to kind of get in there with them. So it worked like that. You didn't just walk in and walk up there, see? So you had to kind of feel your way through. Because there's some fantastic cats in there, man. Those cats could play, man, play. So the music went all day, every day.
And we played till like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Then everybody would go home. They'd get up at noon and go back around to James' house, because James had a great big old barbecue pit in the backyard. And they had a couple of holes dug in the ground, and we used to use that to putt and play for a nickel a game, just putting. If you weren't putting, if you weren't eating ribs, you went inside this little club he had in his garage, and just, bam, you got into the music. And we'd be there until like maybe 5 in the evening. Then you go home, eat dinner with your respective families, go do your gig. When the gig's over, back over to James again.
Georgia, oh Lord, I said Georgia, baby, baby. Roll they through. Just no free song. Lord, keep Georgia on my mind. Keep it on my mind all the time. Keep it on my mind all the time, Lord, Lord.
This was originally called Van's Olympic. For Cleve, it was a schoolroom.
It just brings back a world of memories. And it was really my education. It was my musical education, really. You can only learn so much in school. You got to get out and play if you're going to play jazz.
What kinds of things did you learn?
Well, I learned how to improvise. I learned how to space the beauty of the notes and how to present myself to the public. You'd walk inside and the first thing you could hear was the band just swinging away and people having a good time, just having fun. And you walk in and everybody greets you just like you're their brother or sister. And then the guys would call you up from the bandstand as soon as they saw me walk in. They acknowledge my presence in the house and asked me to come and sit in and play. And there I was the rest of the night. That's how I learned how to play.
I feel at home here, man. You know, when it comes to music, this place is one of the places, man. You know, the pleasure of being in this building, man, makes me feel. I feel that thing. You know what I'm saying? You kind of miss that. I didn't know I'd miss it till I walked in here. Yeah. Yeah. I stopped through here on the way to my other job to get a little flavor before I got to my job. Yeah.
Just does something to you. It just pushes you.
Yeah.
Gives you energy. Makes you energetic.
I know it's tempting to get nostalgic about it, but do you miss it?
I sure do. I miss all the old gang. I miss the big bands, really. That's where my heart sits.
The happy ending to this story is that Sweet Baby James, Cleve, Bobby, and some of the other elder jazzmen have decided that they still have something to say and play. And we're still listening, fellas.
Oh, Lord, keep Georgia on my mind.
Sweet Baby James is featured on Mel Brown's latest CD. Cleve was so energized by playing in our story that he's picked up his horn again in earnest. And Bobby Bradford can be heard Sundays at Billy Reed's.